In order for attorneys to see the classified information, we have to be approved. So it's supposedly an adversarial system, but we have to have our adversary approve us. Now, I don't know, maybe you all have seen a court case where a defense attorney was allowed to tell the judge, Judge, you know what? That prosecutor, I got second thoughts about that prosecutor. I don't think that they're as honest as they should be, and I don't want them on the case. So give me another list of people. I'll let you know which prosecutor I think is okay to prosecute this case. Okay, that doesn't happen. So we have to go through a process of getting the same level of security clearance as a CIA officer. 10-year background check. Every documentation of our past history you can imagine. And then they decide whether we get it or not. If we're deemed worthy enough to get the classified information, the government has asked the judge to sign a protective order, which says that if the government decides that some of the information is still too sensitive to even show the attorneys, they won't have to do it. That if some of the information is too sensitive, they might show it to the attorneys, but we will be barred from showing it to our clients. Tell me, what is that? How are we supposed to defend someone where, say there's a photograph of a person supposedly taken in England? We need to know who this person is. The government says this is terrorist number 2 in the world, your client talks to them. We can't show that photograph potentially to our client and say, who is this person? Have you met them? Is there a reason? Did you buy ice cream from them? Have you never seen them before? This is madness. This is not justice. This is through the looking glass, you know, beyond being on LSD. This is 1984, this is 2008. This is what we're operating under. Other cases in this country operate under those rules right now. In England right now, they have a statute where the lawyer isn't even allowed to communicate with the client at all, or his other lawyers. They have special cleared counsel who only see the classified and won't communicate with the other people involved. There is no way any human being can get a fair trial with secret evidence. It doesn't happen. And once you open up that door, it will stay open, and it will get wider and wider, until, as we see with the Patriot Act, it's not applied to terrorists. It's applied to drug dealers. It's applied to governors who have certain proclivities. It's applied to people who make financial transactions the government doesn't approve of. It applies to anyone in any criminal context. This case, there are 3 things about this case that I think any human being should be able to unite around. And that's what this is about. This is about the fundamental principles at issue in this case. One is, you do not lock someone up pre-trial the way Fahad's been locked up. Animals in the Bronx Zoo get treated better than Fahad is. Everyone's entitled to due process. No secret evidence. No attorneys that get approved by the government. And the third is freedom of association, religion, and free speech. Because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is this. The government's going to say Fahad was a member of a group called Maher, and they were radical extremists. They had these ideas. They wanted to get rid of these governments in Asia, North Africa, South Asia. And they wanted a caliphate, and they were against the Israeli government, and they denounced the U.S. bombing of Iraqi civilians and the bombing of Afghani civilians, and they actually went in front of embassies and protested, and they had debates where they denounced people for these things. So clearly, they were terrorists in waiting. This playbook has been used before. It was used in the 1950s for anyone alleged to be a communist. It was used decades before that for anyone feared to be a labor organizer. It's been used throughout this country's history against African Americans for any reason, to discriminate, to enslave, to disempower, and Native Americans. It's the same playbook, but now it's a different face that's being applied against. So, for all these 3 reasons, putting aside the fact that Fahad is innocent and the pain and trauma that he is going through, and that his family is going through, and the people that love him are going through. These principles, we believe, are something that anyone who considers himself civilized should be able to agree to. Thank you.